All right, looks like we're live. Wanted to do another screencast for you guys, and this time I thought I'd do it on how I arrange and plan my week using Google Calendar. This is an awesome tool. Now, I tried out iCal. I wasn't too enthused with the pastel-ish colors and the rounded corners and all that stuff, so I've mainly been using Google Calendar for a long time. And I just wanted to show you guys exactly how I plan my week. As you can see, Monday is kind of laid out here, and the rest of the week is just kind of sparse. And I'll go over these color codes and what they mean here in just a little bit. But just wanted to kind of show you what's going on and what I'm planning to do. What I'll usually do is I'll do this all on Google Calendar first, and then I'll go to my desk planner, which is just a regular, I don't know, 6 by 7.5, some kind of planner deal. I don't know exactly the measurements, but I've just got a weekly planner here in front of me that I'll copy everything here into that planner. Well, not everything. I just copy, what is basically priority and what I want to remember and not, forget that I can't have access to immediately, or that I don't want to have to look at Google Calendar for. Right now I'm using my secondary monitor. This is the monitor I use basically for my Google Calendar, or if I need to look something extra up over here in a different Chrome browser. And because I've got Chrome set to save my settings, whenever I close, then it opens right back up with the calendar on this monitor and all my other links on the other monitor. So that's pretty cool with Chrome, how that works. But anyway, as you can see, some of this stuff is populated here, and I'll just show you what a general week looks like in my business life here. First of all, this really goes along with my ideal week that I've posted on YouTube not long ago. And if I go to my website, I can show you exactly where that post is, which now it is in the news section. This is where my latest news and my blog basically rests, and I'll go to the post that is in so that you can see that. Now it's probably, I think it's going to be this one, being a guitarpreneur in 2014. So we'll click on that one, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about as far as ideal week. Some of you probably already remember this, may remember this just fine. So let's see here. This is the hangout that I was talking about. Here's the little picture of my ideal week that I got from this, and here you go. This is what it looks like on paper. Now this was back in January when I posted this, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's when I saw the blog post up here in January. And it's, as you can see over here, it's already March 9th. So it's about 2 months later. Well, a little over a month, because this is the end of January. A little over a month later. And I can already tell that there are some things that need to be switched around in this, which I'm not going to go back and post it on here for you to download and see every little revision. That's not the point. The point is to give you a basic idea of what it looks like and kind of give you some idea of what to do to plan your ideal week out. Basically for like goal setting and things like that. As you can see, I have different areas up here that are my themes. I have foundational, special projects, appointments, personal, church life, and over here things to do with self, like personal development, everything else to do with work within these time frames here, and then family and friends and planning. If I just zoom in here using control and then the mouse wheel, it'll show you a little bit better. Now the quality of this is a lot better when you download it, but you can go to that link up here. Actually, the actual link is secretsofTexasBlues.com/guitarpreneur-2014, and that's where you can find this blog post. And you go down here and you can click it and you can download it either for OpenOffice or for Microsoft Excel, a spreadsheet. and you can kind of fill in your own times and everything. And then at the end, I've got the end of the day set aside for family, friends, and planning, things like that. Now, I don't have a game night every Tuesday, so obviously that needs to be changed, and some of this stuff up here has been changed a little bit, times that I get up and things like that. But that's beside the point. So you can go to that area and download this for yourself. But what I was wanting to get to is, you can see up here where I was talking about the themes. The themes are foundational on Monday, Tuesday, special projects on Wednesday, Thursday, appointments on Friday, etc., etc. What I did on my Google Calendar was put this as an all-day task. So foundational, I set to be an all-day thing so that it would appear at the top as a category. Monday and Tuesday is foundational. These are things that relate directly to my goals and my business goals and things like that. Other than fishing, which is just now starting to happen again. Hope, thank goodness, something outside the house to do for a change. Special projects, which is the projects that I'm working on right now, which is, of course, the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course. But anyway, like foundational, business books, newsletter, all these other things that to do with my business and the foundation of my business, including website development and, website here, goals, reading books that are business books is my accounting and things like that. But another thing is, just reading books for business and things like that. Special projects on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have my products, which in this case is Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, the ones I'm working on right now, vlogs, writing, etc., things like that. Appointments, this really hasn't been for appointments lately. It has been more for miscellaneous than anything, but not really for appointments. So, but anyway, to go back to show you what a typical week looks like, and I don't want to go back any further than this because I don't know what information is visible. At least I know what's visible here and what I can share with you. So basically, let's go over the color coordinations right now, color codes. Over here are my calendars, and you can see exactly what they're about, and there's a bunch of them here, okay? I don't have all of them enabled. I don't have the tasks enabled. I don't have community events enabled. That's mainly for stuff that happens around town, and that doesn't really, I don't think it really updates itself, so I just, if I have to add something that's happening in the community, then I'll enable that and add it to that calendar, but I rarely do that, so I'll just leave it there as a just-in-case thing. So guitar events, things that deal with guitar, like, playing, or maybe lately I've been doing the Artist Works program with Paul Gilbert, so I'll put that in the guitar field, and that's purple. And so that, just looking at color coordination, the color codes really help me to define what all my time is going to. If you see red is important events. Now, I've got it listed as preach/important because if I'm preaching, I definitely want that to pop out to me. Like last week, I had to preach at my bass player's church. But if it's also business, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let me zoom in just a hair. You can see that there is a green outline around this one. Well, that's because this is actually in the business category, which the regular color for the business category is green. But I decided to go in here and make it red so that it would pop out and let me know this is a business thing that's important. Okay, so that's what that little green surrounding line is. So that gives me two things to look at. Like here, this is a special project. I coded this orange to coincide with the orange color that it is a special project. Okay, so I've got this outlined here in green to let me know this is a business thing, but it is an orange to let me know that it is a special project. Okay, now none of my calendars are color coded orange over here. None of these are orange, but I can go in here like I said and click on any one of these colors that I want. And another thing I'm going to probably start using is the agenda feature, which allows me, like if I go here, it allows me to do all these things from here. Like I can click on that and then change the color here very quickly instead of having it go within the actual ad itself, not ad, but entry itself. and having to do that over and over. I can just do it really quickly like that. Okay, so red is basically for important things. Obviously, the green that you see here, these other green entries, is to coincide with foundational, to do with business books and things like that. Tax return, got to get that done, you know. And just some other, you know, prepare for lessons for, you know, this week, and that's business, obviously. Even though it's a guitar event, it's more business because it, you know, actually earns me money. So, and you'll see church events are this kind of chartreuse green, which is this right here. We had a singing at our church recently, and so this is the color it is. And if you're wondering why these are faded out, it's because the week has already passed. I've got it set up to fade out as events pass. So if we go here, when this is completely done, this will be faded out, just like this is. You can see this is faded out, this over here is faded out. Okay, so we've got that going on. So that is the business, and we got important things in red, obviously. The yellow here, and I'm just going to go by the column that I'm currently in. The yellow here designates miscellaneous stuff. Obviously, lunch is not business. It's not anything else. It's miscellaneous. And what I've been doing recently is I will plan it out, and then what I'll actually do is I will then rearrange it according to how my day actually went, so that I can get a more accurate view of what my time is going to. Like today, this day was an hour and a half lunch. I mean, I don't know if I remember this. I was just so overwhelmed at all the books I had to do for the month that I just wanted to crash and be like, man, this is a big project. It took a lot of time and effort and a lot of brain power, and I just wanted to crash on the couch and watch Seinfeld or something. You know, I've been watching Seinfeld recently. So this lunch was, usually my lunches consist of, you know, eat and sit on the couch and kind of just veg out, not have to think about business, just watch something on TV, you know, on YouTube or Crackle or something I get through my Xbox Live account. So that's why this one was so long that day. And I had to release my first Bluegrass Guitar Essentials promo video, sample video last week, so I had to make sure that was ready. That was priority. That's why it's in red. Red is also kind of a priority thing. If you see red, it's a priority for this week. It needs to be done. And I've been setting priorities recently, and I've so far been able to achieve just about every one of them, and that's a very, very accomplishing feeling, satisfying feeling. So basically, I had to get this ready for release, because on Tuesdays I release my weekly videos, and so this Tuesday took a little bit longer than usual because I had to make sure that everything was set up and all that stuff. And if I click on this, it tells me what I've got to get done here. All these different things I need to get done for the YouTube scheduling. Now, I don't know if you notice this or not, but you can see this little, I guess that's a greater than sign. This little arrow looking thing here, right there that my finger's on. Okay, and there's one here, and there's one down here. Okay, and there's one over here. That is a very cool feature I decided to do. It's not a feature, it's just an idea that I had. And basically what it is whenever I have comments that I need to read, I will put that little arrow in front of it so that I'll know, hey, what do I need to do? What are the steps that I need to take to make sure my video is ready for release? Okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do as far as what do I need to schedule for YouTube? What do I need to do for my Hangout notes? The Hangout I had this past week, March the 3rd or the 5th. Like I said, this is March, the beginning of March, so I don't know when this release, but it's evergreen content because you can use this anytime. So I'm not really worried about the timing of this. But anyway, a Hangout I recently had. Before I do my Hangout, I'll type in a thing that says Hangout Notes, and then I'll put my little arrow thing up here. You know, shift period on a Mac. That's all that is. And then I'll put my Hangout notes down here. And this is the Hangouts that I recently had on my YouTube page. If I go to that, I think it's the topmost video, but don't really want to do that because there's some videos that haven't been revealed yet and haven't been released that I don't want to really talk about. I'll look at it here on my other one. It's the Guitarpreneur Hangout appear.enbge videos, new strings, and books. So if I was to take and copy this on my other monitor here and then open it up here, you'll see which one I'm talking about. So the Hangout notes for this one I prepared in advance before I even released the Hangout. Okay, so that's all this is. It's the Guitarpreneur Hangout, whatever this thing is. Appear.in BGE videos, new strings, and then after this it says and books. And so you'll see in the Show More area here that all these Hangout notes are the same ones that I'm using right here. Okay, so my Hangout notes I will type in advance and to let me know that I have comments in here or whatever. See, since this is my secondary monitor, I will leave my Hangout notes open, while on my main monitor I will actually perform the Hangout and do the Hangout, so that I can always have this to look at as a reference. And you'll find that it's the same exact things here pretty much. Okay, so that's that Hangout there. So let's go back to this here, and you're going to actually see me plan some of my week out here in just a little bit. I'm actually sitting down to start my day a little later than what I'd want to be. Right now, as you can see, Central Time, it's just a little past 9:30 here. And this line is very helpful. This red line, as it scrolls down, it lets you know where you are on the time frame over here. Okay, so remember my ideal week, I have certain things set up for these time frames, and lately I haven't been really referencing my ideal week like I'd like to. So I've got to keep an eye on that and maybe even rearrange some stuff to make that work. But let's go back here. So I've went over this little arrow thing, I went over these color codes. Now blue is just my main calendar. It's just something that I might need to do for personal uses, like that's not necessarily business, like check email this day. It may be a business thing, it may be a personal thing. It just depends on how I feel that day. Grill out, obviously that's not a priority, not anything going on business wise. It could be miscellaneous, but it's also something that I want to do, something I want to pay attention to, so it's on my main calendar. Okay, as we go down the list, we've got, now notice this color is a little bit of a lighter red. Now they have different kinds of reds here. They have, as you can see, they've got a dark red and a lighter red. A lighter red, mainly for me, is used for it's a priority, but it's like a number 2 priority instead of number 1 priority. So that's the deal with that. It's kind of not as important as the dark red, but it's pretty important. You need to pay attention to that too. So that's what this is. Basically, I was going to go look at some defaults in the YouTube settings so that I don't have to keep typing things over and over again. I've already done some of those, but I wanted to kind of maybe further do some more defaults. Here's an upload video that I released not too long ago of my Captain John video and Poets. And notice there's no little arrow here on either one of these, so there's no comments that I really need to check. The description basically says what when I see it, I'll know what to do. So this was for me to announce my Hangout coming the next day, which did happen here. And there's like 2 different Hangout things here because, as you know, I've been having issues with Hangouts to where I'll create an event, and then when I actually create the Hangout, it creates another event. But I think I might have found a workaround around that finally that I mentioned on this Hangout over here as I was working on it, which is the appear.in Hangout. I think I might have found a workaround on that that may start working a lot better, hopefully, to where we'll have it in a single event. But anyway, here's another little comment. This is for me to review and export the Spigma videos that I had coming up that were available, and you've probably already seen those, but in case you haven't, the Spigma is the Society for the Preservation of Bluegrass Music in America, and this is an award show they have every year, and this is me playing some of the guitars that were in the Martin booth. And as you scroll on past that, this is a bunch of us jamming together, and these are in 2 parts. I put these videos in 2 parts. So Obviously, there's a lot of jamming going on here, and we had a really good time. Sound quality's decent, but so that day was for me to review those videos because I've been editing them for a while and to get them done. Once again, we have these other red things to let me pay attention to, priorities and things like that. Now, I may have had something here planned, but what happens a lot of times is things will get moved around. If it's already, I see it's getting late and I need to do something else, I'll move it to another day. And that's why it's important to have all these blank spaces here, all this blank stuff, because that gives you what's called margin. Okay, if you go back to that being a guitarpreneur, it talks about margin, I think. Let me see if I actually use the word margin. Yeah, here's some resources. If you go to the very bottom, resources mentioned in the video, where I got the idea of using the Ideal Week, came directly from Michael Hyatt. And if you go to this right here link, you can see all the resources down here that are awesome that you can check out. Even a free sample of the online rock guitar school that I'm using, that I'm subscribed to through Artist Works of Paul Gilbert stuff. It's amazing. It's really good. So you can check that out there. And the margin allows you to move and shift things around. As you can see, the beginning of my week, I'm ready to start the week. I've had 2 days off for the most part anyway, and I'm ready to start back up. As the week drifts on, I'm kind of, winding down, having more margin here, trying not to plan a whole lot. Lately, my whole scheme is don't plan a whole lot on Thursdays and Fridays, because those are your margin days right now. If I don't get a lot done, that's fine, because look at all the stuff I've done this week. And if you also go to this, a lot of this relates to this, just to be honest with you, a lot of this relates to this being a guitarpreneur in 2014. Another one that's really good to check out is the Pomodoro technique post that you may have seen when I was scrolling down here just a few minutes ago. So, I don't know if it's the browser, if it's the site that takes a while. I've noticed Chrome on some of these things has been loading kind of slowly anyway, so it might not be necessarily the browser. I don't think it is. But if you go to the, where is it? The Pomodoro technique, time management made easy. A lot of this margin stuff and moving stuff around, and what I was going to say was about how productive you really can expect yourself to be. According to another cool resource down here that I've got listed, let's see, that I thought I had listed. Let me go back to that real quick, because there was, actually before I go back, let me do a find here. Okay, it's not there. There's a post by Ray Edwards that I mentioned. I might have just mentioned it on the Hangout and that's it. I'm not sure. But it's a post that he did on how to plan your year in just 1 hour. Okay, there we go. How to plan your year in just 1 hour. And that's back on the Guitarpreneur one. This one is an awesome, awesome podcast to check out. Basically, the main thing I got out of this, and there's a lot of stuff to get out of this, but the main thing I got out of it was that you need to just expect to do, maybe most people can expect to have about 6 hours of a productive day in any given day. And if you look at this calendar, even before this, this was loaded. And I was just doing too much for one person. You got to take breaks. If you're doing the Pomodoro technique, which I talked about earlier, if I duplicate, I'm going to duplicate this and go back to that, because it's going to be a lot easier than having to just go back and forth. I may refer to these from time to time, because this is all about time management and using your calendar for these, both of these blog post ideas. So back to the Pomodoro technique. Okay, if you're using this technique, and if you haven't checked it out, I've also done a hangout on this, and it's all about being a guitarpreneur and things like that I reference. I may have even referenced, I think I actually did a screencast. If you go to my YouTube channel and look in the screencast playlist, or just type in Pomodoro, spell it just like this. It's called the Pomodoro Technique Screencast, and it's about an hour long, and it tells you how to use the Pomodoro technique, how awesome it is, and actually it's right here. right here it is. You can just go to this article and click on play, and you've got an hour. And all this stuff down here kind of not creates, but kind of, are the show notes for this, in so to speak. So, and then here are some sheets that you can use that I reference in this video, okay? So, I had to check my text there. I have to put that on vibrate. So, alright. But anyway, what I was saying was, you can basically, if you're going to use the Pomodoro technique, you have to take breaks. Again, so you can see that here. Take a short break, 5 minutes. Take a longer break, 20-30 minutes after 4 Pomodoros. And again, this article explains all that. Here's the link, okay? secretstotexasbluesguitar.com/Pomodoro-technique, alright? So you can go to this and watch and use this little tool for time management and what Michael Hyatt calls batching, which is also at the bottom here. How to use batching to become more productive. This is how I actually learned about the Pomodoro technique, is through Michael Hyatt. So this is just my rendition of the actual technique and my screencast of it and what it is and how you can use it to effectively manage your time. Now, it's an on and off thing for me. I try to just naturally take these breaks and things like this, but I've been falling behind very, very much because I just want to get things done. And a lot of times, I do multitasking a lot, and the more I read and research about multitasking, the more I realize that it is not effective. Okay, it is not a good time management system. Your focus is always interrupted. If you're doing multitasking, you can't really concentrate on one thing, and so it's not a good idea. But what the main point of all this is that if I'm loading myself down with things to do, even some of this stuff might be too much in one day. You got a whole hangout, you got to prepare for the hangout, a bunch of different things like that. I may decide not to create a whole lot more of activities around that, because this may take a lot of effort, a lot of mental capacity to run this thing, These business books, I can just basically plan on when I have a business book today. So look how long it took me. I mean, this was for the monthly thing. I didn't really put anything at all in the whole month. So that's why it took me so long. But I only had to do it once, okay? So I did it once for this whole month in February, and then I'm kind of going back here. This is the very beginning of March. So I did February's books here. It took me 2.5 hours, but I only had to do it one time, okay? Versus 4 times, twice a week, twice a month, maybe it might take me 2 hours. And so once again, you're breaking that apart, and that's kind of like multitasking. You break it apart, and guess what happens is you're doing 2 hours of work, and then if you don't finish it then, when it could only take maybe another 30 minutes to an hour, you're having to start all over from scratch where you left off and go back and remember what you wrote down, what you didn't, what you need to include, and then start all over, and it takes you twice as long to do it than it would if you had just sat down and done it all at once, And that's what the whole idea of focus was on this right here. You've probably seen this earlier. Focus. Follow one course until successful, okay? These are my focus things to focus on in 2014, as well as my SMART goals in 2014, okay? So you want to follow one course until successful, get done with this, and then be done with it, okay? So that's the whole idea behind that, is if I have a big task that day, then I don't want to schedule a bunch of other priority tasks around it, because I will be mentally drained from all this calculating. So that's one good idea. I heard somebody say one time, if you're trying to lose weight, don't be fasting and then exercising in the same day. Don't do 2 hard things at once, okay? So that's basically the idea there. So let's get back to some of these color codes here. I'm trying to hurry through this. Okay, a church event. We've already talked about that. On Wednesday nights we have Bible study. There was a singing at one of the churches that I attend regularly this past Saturday, and so we did that. Schedule Captain John. That was scheduling the Captain John video. So that was, as you can see there, that one's in blue as well to let me know that it's not really a business video. It's just a personal video kind of thing. It's blue, you know, border to let me know it was from my calendar, which is blue. But it's red to let me know that it needs to be done, because my goal was to get the Spigma videos done this week, because this Tuesday is a completely new video releasing that was mentioned. And by the time you guys get this, it may have already be out, because I don't think I'll be uploading this and releasing it immediately. The blue chip pick review that's coming out soon that I did. All you have to do is go to my YouTube and type in blue chip pick. Go to Eric Beatty and then go to my site and then type in blue chip pick review, and you can see it. I've got to make sure that I get that ready to release, and so I wanted to make sure the Spigma was released first, these Spigma videos, because I mentioned that I have some cool swag in the Spigma videos, some cool merchandise, and one of them was the Spigma pick. I mean the blue chip pick. So I didn't want to release the Spigma after saying, well, I'll do a video on the blue chip soon, and it'd already be completed and released. So it was my goal to get those out, and I did. I did accomplish that, so that's very cool. Like I said, it's a very cool sense of accomplishment. I mean, I can look back and chide myself for saying, hey, look at all this empty space you didn't utilize. Look at all this empty space you didn't utilize. Actually, some of this is not empty. I had lessons on some of these days, which I do not have highlighted on my MTH calendar, my Music Teacher's Helper calendar, because I don't want to, disclose the names of my students for their personal privacy. So in between these, I did have, like, I had a lesson at 12:30 here, or I had a lesson at 10:30 here, or I had a lesson on Wednesday at 4, and then another one at 5. So there were things that I was doing, but the thing is, I could still chide myself for saying, oh, look at all this empty space. The fact of the matter is, you need to have, some downtime too, because if you're constantly in the state of work, your adrenaline's pumping, your mind's constantly going, you're not going to accomplish anything worthwhile. I mean, you'll be multitasking, trying to get all this stuff done. And one of my bad deals is I will take and use this weekly view, like the week up here. I use the monthly view to get a broad idea of what's coming up in the month. I use the weekly view to tell me what I'm doing. But my problem is, a lot of times I'll leave it there when I'm working. Like, say today is, what is today? The 10th, okay? So I've got all this stuff that I can look at. Let's just go back here again. I've got all this stuff that I can look at while I'm trying to perform one task. And guess what happens? I get distracted with all this other stuff. Oh, this needs to be done. Let's move this over here. This needs to be done. I can't do this today. Let's move it over here. Why not just take a day and then focus on it? Okay? I'm trying to get in the habit of doing the day thing, or at least the agenda thing. Now, if I put this in agenda view, you can see from Monday onward all the stuff to get done, okay? Up until Tuesday, March 3rd and Tuesday, and then I can show more here, okay? So, but that, once again, I'm looking at all these other things on Tuesday when I should be just focusing on one day. Okay, focus on one thing. Focus. Follow one course until successful. One course would be one day. Okay, get today done, then worry about tomorrow. If you have something you can't do today, then switch back to weekly and move it somewhere else. Okay. All right. So we had church events. Life's Pathway events are events that deal directly with my group, which is happening actually right here. We're having to sing with my gospel group, that is. We're having to sing for Relay for Life this coming Thursday. Some kind of a Relay for Life event then. So that when it's purple like that, it tells me immediately that it is a Life's Pathway booking. Once again, I don't have to go back here and look. I just got these color coded so that I know exactly what it is. And when I mean guitar events was purple, it was more of a light shaded purple. If I go to, like, if I did something here and made it a guitar event, actually let's go ahead and type in one, Artist Works, to let me know that I need to do my Artist Works and practice my Artist Works. Okay, it's create event. Notice how much lighter that is. If it's that light, I know it's a guitar event, but if it's really, really purple, I know it's an event for Life's Pathway. I'm going to go ahead and leave this on here because this week is spring break. I don't have lessons, so I'm going to use the time that I was having lessons to schedule lessons for myself on Artist Works, for which I am behind. So you can actually see me planning some of this stuff, all right? And I'll go into planning here in just a minute of some of my week. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and put this. I have a lesson usually on Tuesdays at 4:30, so let's go ahead and put this over here for 3 o'clock. Okay, and what I can do is I can go over here and tell it to duplicate and then save it, and guess what, I can move this somewhere else. So on Wednesday I have one at 4 and 5, so I can go a little extra longer today. Okay, so I can do that. Let's tell it to duplicate this event again, save, and on Fridays I usually have lessons at 11 o'clock and 12:30. So basically all the way till 1 o'clock will be a good time for me to do this on Friday. So it lets me catch up 3 times a week. It lets me catch up on my artist works and get the Paul Gilbert School under my belt. Alright, so I'm scheduling all my lessons that I would have had so that I can have free time for this, because lately I've been slacking on this. My membership's about to run out and I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to renew that, because funds right now are getting pretty tight with all the Bluegrass Guitar Essential stuff that I'm having to do, pay my virtual assistants and things like that. Okay, so let's go back to the other thing here. Basically, all that's left is we have also bluegrass events. If there's like an event coming up for like Spigma, it was a bluegrass event, so I've got it labeled as a bluegrass event. If it's a lot blue like this, then I know it's a bluegrass event. Peachtree events, if it's, you know, something to do directly with where I teach at, then right here it's going to be another purple. It kind of looks like Polaris Pathway, so I know that it's one of the two. Wilder Mountain, that has to do with bookings directly related to Wilder Mountain, or like if we had practice on Tuesday, like I think we're supposed to have practice this week, so I'll put practice here. I think it's usually from 5:30 to 7. And I'll just put Wilder Mountain practice, and I'll call it a Wilder Mountain event. Create it, move it down to where I need it to be, which is supposed to be 5:30 to 7. Now that light teal color is a Wilder Mountain event. If we got to sing somewhere, it's about that light teal color. So if I see that, I know that there's a booking coming up for that. Okay, and then the last color I'll just go ahead and leave up here that I'll show you. It's not on any of my calendars. I don't have it set to any of these calendars. But what I've been noticing is I can use this gray color for margin, okay? And the gray color is for me to instantly know that this is something that can be put off until later if I'm running behind on my priorities or on my foundational or special projects. These are very, very secondary. So I've distributed these throughout this week, and I've been putting some of these off for a couple weeks. Because they're not really, you know, have-to things. They're important, but they're not urgent, and they're not immediate, okay? So, like for example, I did a YouTube mind map thing using Xmind. And if you'll look down here, if it'll let me do it. I'm not sure it will or not, but there's supposed to be a way to get your dock to appear on the bottom here. And usually all you have to do is just put it down here, and it'll just pop up. I don't see that happening, but anyway, there's a program that I talked about called Xmind. There it is. See that right there, that little X? That's Xmind. Allows you to use mind maps. It's free. You can upgrade if you want to, but I just use the free version. It's all that I need. Okay, and I've been doing my YouTube systems. In other words, trying to set up a system for my YouTube so that when I record the videos, I just send it off and everything else is done for me. And that is one of the big keys in being successful, is that you have systems in place for the business to run when you're not there, when you're absent. Okay, I've been reading that and finding that to be true in some of the books that I've been reading, which I'm probably going to do a vlog on today, actually to do with some of the books that I own that you need to read as well. One of those is the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, an awesome, amazing book that will teach you how to run business a smart way by the use of quote-unquote franchising your business. Not making it a franchise, but running it like a franchise. and it uses the most famous franchise of all, McDonald's, as its template. Okay, so we have the gray, and that lets me know that if it's not being done, and if it can be put off, it's not very important, then I can move it. And I'm using right now, I'm kind of experimenting with putting it on over here. Like right now, I should actually put these over here. I'm not paying attention to the times here. This is my margin area, okay? So for this week, I've got these things to accomplish. If I don't get them accomplished, then I move them to Saturday, and that will be next week's margin area. It'll be great to see, Google have some way to have another category called margin over here and move things to that area. I may have to suggest that, actually. That would be very cool. But for now, I'm just using Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is for this week. Saturday will be for next week, and then I'll just go to the month view if I don't accomplish it and move it to that next Sunday and then get it done and work on it. So if I have free time and I need to get these things done, then that's where that will go. All right, now we're doing screencasting, okay? So right now, let's just go ahead and call this video part 1 of my Google Calendar, because it's already at 40 minutes and I don't want to take up your whole day and your whole week by talking about how I plan my week. So you can actually follow me in part 2 of the Google Calendar, how I plan my week and things like that. I don't know what this is going to be called yet, but you'll see whenever you watch part 1. Part 2 will be coming out very shortly after this one, probably the next week, because I don't like to split up series. I like to do them back to back. So it'll probably be the next week you see this, or within the same week, because I currently have my bluegrass guitar videos releasing every other week, and that will offset each series. So if I have a series, then it will come probably within the same week. So expect to see this part 2 of this video very soon, where I will go over how I plan my week and give you an idea of what goes through my mind, the processes I use using Google Calendar and using it in real time, okay? So right now I'm going to do a Pomodoro. It's been 40 minutes. A Pomodoro is 25. So I'm going to take probably a 5-minute break and get up off the desk, get up, walk around, and maybe just go in there and chill out, look outside at the birds or something, because it's starting to be a nice sunny day. Excuse me, starting to be a nice sunny day, and trying to be, and we are now finally back on daylight savings time. Hallelujah! I love this time. I love having more day in my day. All right, so we'll see you next time. I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, and when you come back, we'll discuss how I create my week and plan it with the use of Google Calendars. Thanks so much for watching. Please rate, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my website, both of them, secretsofTexasBluesGuitar.com and the new BluegrassGuitarEssentials.com, where you can sign up for updates concerning the release of the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course, which is coming out very soon. And you can do that by going down here and signing up right here on this mailing list. The first name and the email is required. This other stuff is just for me to help better know my customers, where they're coming from, what state, what city, as far as letting me know the reach that I have with my customers, okay, so that I can know where all exactly my customers are coming from. And right now I have a post that I'm working on, different posts. Right now the only one that's up is the open string transition, which, as you can see, is a YouTube video, but this is an article, companion article, talking all about it, okay? So you can go to Bluegrass Guitar Essentials and check out the Bluegrass Guitar Tips, which are these, kind of like these blog things. You can contact me here. You can see some sample videos of the course, and the home page is what you're seeing right here. So for right now, every page, as far as I know, has this little sign-up form which you can sign up for updates, so that you'll know what's going on concerning the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials complete course. This is the first one. You can view the YouTube embedded link here, and to download you must go to this page, bluegrassguitaressentials.com/sample videos. to download the tabs. You do that by pressing the button here, clicking on this, and it will bring up a new picture, a new tab. And you can either do it one of two ways. You can either save the tab from here by going down here to this little disk icon to save it, and it shows you all the tabs and things like that for this video that I've got going on. Okay, so you can save it by doing that, or you can, all you have to do is go right click and then go to save link as, if you're using a Mac. If you're using the Windows, it should say save as or something like that, and you can save it as a PDF, and then you can see the article and what I'm talking about concerning Wilder Mountain Coal, concerning this song. This week, the second video is coming out. No, not this week, excuse me. This week, the Blue Chip Pick Review is coming out. Next week, which will be March the 16th, and it's going to be the 17th, that Tuesday. The Bluegrass Guitar Essentials promo video 2 is coming out. Okay, so do check this out. Please check out, sign up for the mailing list. That's where you'll get the updates of the process as it's going along. Now, I'm obviously going to release the release, whatever it's released publicly. I'm going to release that on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere social media has it, Twitter and all that stuff. But if you want to get step-by-step updates, and most of the time I'm trying to do these weekly, as you can see in my calendar here, BGE mailing list, that's the updates for what I'm doing currently in this week or the last week. I'm trying to do this weekly. You can see what the process is and where I'm at in the process of whether it be more tabs are being done. Here's some screenshots of the tabs. Here's some screenshots of the videos that are getting done. Different things like that. You're going to get the inside look if you subscribe here, all right? And that's at bluegrassguitaressentials.com. Check out Secrets of TexasBluesGuitar.com, the article Guitarpreneur-2014, and as well the article Secrets of TexasBluesGuitar.com/Pomodoro-technique for these cool resources that I'm talking about in this video. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. And take care, and God bless. Look forward to seeing you.